Thank you all for coming. For those who haven't been here before, I'm Kevin Williams. I'm the commanding officer of the 2nd Precinct. Thanks for coming out tonight. We'll go over some crime stats and some other things, and then I'll take questions at the end, if that's okay. All right, so without further ado, I'll get going. We did get some new police officers from the latest recruit class. We got 10 in the 2nd Precinct.
Very good.
So we want to welcome them and to wish them a very safe and rewarding career and working in the best precinct in Suffolk County. I know if Kenny was here, he'd be happy to see that. But just so you know, we got 10, but I had like 20 requests for officers to come to work in the 2nd Precinct. And I think it was more than any other precinct in the county. So for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the wonderful community that we work for, but a lot of people wanted to come to the 2nd. And I really like that, because if they want to come here, that means they want to work here, you know, and I'm going to get work at them. So I picked the 10 best, or whoever, you know, he knows how it works. Sometimes it's not always the ones I wanted, but some other ones that, you know, had calls or whatever. But anyway, we're happy to have them. We wish them the best. They seem very eager. I've talked to them all, and it's great. We beefed up the ranks a little. So we'll move on. These are the crime stats, index crimes. This is year to date, okay? So we'll look at 24 to 25. So as you can see, we're down in a lot of categories, which is a good thing. I'm always happy to see that. Obviously, no homicides. Robberies last year we had 7. This year we only have 4 so far. Assaults last year with 23. This year only 19. Residential burglaries last year we had 11, and this year we only have 3. That looks real good. I like that. Commercial burglaries, unfortunately, were even as we were last year. I'll talk about them in a second. We have some of the slides that address them. Larcenies were down just a slight bit from last year at this time, and then vehicle thefts were up 1. So all in all, not really bad numbers year to date.
We are only in April.
What was that?
We are only in April.
We're only in April.
And we added.
Yeah, well, you're right, but every time the percentages are down, I'm happy, you know, so like if they're up,
We just
you know,
have a murder.
something's wrong, we're not doing a good job. So right now, we're looking like we're doing a pretty good job. And then this will be the monthly, from February last month to this month. As you can see, in February we had 2 robberies, in March just 1, so we're down on that. Assaults, we had 5 in February, 7 in March. So I'm sorry, that's wrong. We're slightly up there. That should be 40 the other way. Residential burglaries, 1 in March. We didn't have any in February. And then commercial burglaries, we were even at 2. And then larcenies were up in March, 120 as opposed to 98 last month, so we're up 22% there. And in vehicle thefts, we were down. There were 6 in February and only 3 in March. So not terrible. Again, you know, the commercial burglaries kind of is something I'm concerned about. Okay, this was a robbery just a few days ago, not too long ago, well, a week or so ago. Huntington Station, this was reported by the complainant. He said he went into 7-Eleven, he did some shopping. When he was in there, he was approached by 4 Hispanic males. They asked him for some money. He said he didn't have any. He did his shopping and then stopped at the ATM, and he withdrew $400. And then he was walking home, and he said 3 of the 4 males that approached him in the store, Sarge, they grabbed him outside on the street. They started beating him up. One of them hit him in the head with a baseball bat. They obviously took his $400, then they fled. So at the end, you see the victim went home and went to sleep. And then when he woke up the next day, he had severe head pain, and then he went to Huntington Hospital for his treatments. And our detectives are investigating this. Any detectives out there kind of think that this sounds a little Well, we got
Well,
some
he had-
detectives out there.
He had head
So-
trauma.
First of all, one thing, I don't believe you can take $400 out of those portable ATM.
Well, that's a good question. Let's just say our detectives are looking into this, and a lot of the facts are not
Which 7-Eleven?
as he says. Yeah, the one by the library.
Okay,
So,
I'm just
right there.
curious.
Things are not adding up right now on this, but they're still investigating. So we'll see what happened. I was
Did he have a
like,
concussion or something?
yeah, I think he had a pretty decent head injury, so something happened, but I'm not really sure if what happened is the story the way he told it. So we're looking into it. I was kind of appalled when I first heard the story, and then as I spoke to the detectives, I was a little more relieved because there's a lot more to the story. We'll leave it at that. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Did I pass on? Oh, no. Okay, so we did a search warrant of one of these smoke shops. So we had some buys into the smoke shop for marijuana. Our plainclothes officers applied for a warrant, and you can see on the 26th, along with the New York State Office of Cannabis Management and our offices, they went to JoJo's convenience store at 212 Depot Road in Huntington. Obviously, they had buys prior, so they had sold marijuana. And they wound up arresting the manager there, okay, and for selling marijuana, for also selling the vapes, the flavored vapes, and they seized money. And so the employee was charged with unlawful sale of cannabis without a license, criminal possession of cannabis, criminal use of drug paraphernalia. And so the Office of Cannabis Management closed the business, and the Town of Huntington is conducting further investigation into this business.
It's fully locked up.
Yeah, good, yeah.
I mean, I drive by, it's like completely, the bar's
Yeah,
done. So
they
how
did.
come that was able to be fully locked up?
Well, that's because we're working with the DA, with the warrant, and also, you know, with the Office of Cannabis Management. And I think there's a new law that allows the town to lock these stores up, too. So that's good. We needed that because a lot of these places were just reopening the next day.
Allows the
Yes.
town locked there?
Well, I
the-
think there's a new law that allows the town to do it. I'd have to talk to the lieutenant who does the plain clothes, because he's more versed in it. But I think they have a little more teeth now, since, because this has been going on and people are going, well, it's open again right away. So it's good that that it's locked up now. But many of
This
these,
is the
many,
Keith Brown thing, right? When Keith Brown, Assemblyman Brown told us that, right, Diane, that he told us that if they're selling cannabis and they don't have a state license,
they can shut them down.
then
New
you
York
call
State
the
comes in, right.
county attorney,
Oh, maybe it's the county,
Right?
yeah.
and that county attorney can then file charges and have the sheriff come and padlock the
Padlock it,
business.
All right.
And then the property owner, or whatever, the business owner, has to wait till it goes through the court, to have his day
Yeah.
in court before
All I
they'll
know is
reopen it.
before they applied for the warrant, so they
Right.
might have had all that in the works
Yeah.
before we hit it. So maybe that was the case in
And
this
there's like
one.
2 people that work for the Office of Cannabis Management for
There's
the
an
entire
issue, yeah,
state.
there's an issue with, you know, it's like the SLA, the State Liquor
Yeah.
Authority, there's not a lot of them. So every once in a while, we get the guy who's assigned to like the Eastern Long Island or something. I think it's similar, so hopefully,
That's
when they
good.
realize there's a problem with all these smoke shops just selling the cannabis, you know, without a license, maybe they'll beef up the Office of Cannabis Management, so that's a real mouthful to say. And this is some of the things that were seized. A lot of these look like the flavored vapes, maybe some of those THC vapes also. Some more stuff you could see, you know, one has the marijuana leaf. I'm not sure what some of that other stuff is. But this is all the stuff that was seized. And then some cash. They seized some cash. So that was a nice job by plainclothes guys.
Big time.
They're constantly investigating these places, so we try to like hit them on a regular basis. And we get plenty of complaints, and we address the complaints from the community. Attempted burglary. This was on Crescent Beach Drive in Huntington on the 7th, about 5:30 in the afternoon. The woman arrived home from work, and she observed a male standing in the den. So she walked in the front door, and in the back of the house, she saw this guy standing there. The suspect, he was described as wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, a tan Carhartt jacket, dark pants, dark boots. When he saw her, he immediately fled the residence, and then he was last seen running southbound on Cove Road. There was no forced entry, so I'm going to assume there was an open door here. We talk about it all the time about securing your residence, so we'll go with that. Maybe there was a door open in the residence, and nothing was reported missing at the time, so maybe she came home in just the nick of time to catch this guy. But it is concerning because, you know, you come home and there's a stranger standing in your den. So we're investigating that one.
She needs a dog.
She does, yes.
This was a burglary, commercial burglary at this location. I think it's Cricket Wireless, the store.
Again.
So an unknown suspect, this is how we write most of them, broke the side window to the business and stole one of those portable speakers that was sitting in the window, and he fled the scene. So if you look at the next one, we had another one 2 days later.
Same place.
On the I'm sorry, more than 2 days later. Same address, and then this time he broke the front door and stole 6 cell phones from inside. Now we had video on this, and we have some really good officers out there, and they kind of recognized the description. The guy had a backpack. We wound up catching this guy. Unfortunately, he hit 4 places within a 2-month span. So we had a couple of these right on New York Avenue. I think he was an undomiciled individual, and I guess he was looking for quick cash. But we caught him. Unfortunately, he wouldn't go for the other ones. So we're still investigating to see, you know, maybe there's some forensic evidence that we could get this guy to go. But we did catch this guy based on the description we had. So really nice work by by our plainclothes officers. Excellent job. Were you guys involved with that? Were you? Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, we catch him once in a while. This was an assault arrest. This happened down in the village. As you can see, almost 2 o'clock in the morning, the 16th. Everybody's hanging out outside, whatever. The victim was out near an outside dining area. A lot of the restaurants have stools and tables, and a known suspect picked up one of these metal bar stools, and he hit this guy in the head with it. The victim suffered a laceration to his head. Luckily, the patrol officers were nearby. They responded quickly, and they were able to catch the guy, so they arrested him, and he was charged with assault, 2nd degree, and the victim was treated at the hospital, got stitches for the laceration. But that's a 2 o'clock in the morning thing, you know. Everybody's down in the village. Probably somebody was drinking in this one. You got to be careful. All right, this was an assault and a weapons possession arrest. This was on Euclid Avenue in Dix Hills on a Friday about 3:40 in the afternoon. So this was a domestic dispute that patrol officer responded to. A fight broke out on the front lawn of the residence. During the physical confrontation, the fight, a gun that one of the subjects had fell out onto the ground, and it was discovered on the front lawn by the responding officers. The gun was secured, and the owner admitted that it was his gun, but it was an illegal gun. So he was arrested, and he was charged with criminal possession of a firearm. And there was an assault also involved with this, and so he was charged with both. This was a domestic dispute, and that's the gun. So it looks like a little, I don't know, 25 or 9mm, I'm not sure what that is. But that was the gun that he had. This was another weapons possession arrest. Wednesday the 26th, 11:30, 7 p.m. Our anti-crime officers, and these guys are doing a terrific job out there. I talk about them all the time. They saw a male walking down the street, and they noticed that his right jacket pocket looked heavy. So this is a sign that you could see. Sometimes really good cops will see this out there, like one pocket's a little lower than the other. Obviously they're saying he's carrying something heavy. So they stopped him, and they interviewed him, and for their safety, thinking that he may have a gun, they can pat him down. So they patted him down. They felt a very heavy object. And I guess a further search revealed a loaded 9mm handgun. And he was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon second and criminal possession of a weapon third, because the magazine, I guess, was able to hold more than 10 rounds, I believe. That's considered that.
And where on
And that's the
Depot
gun.
was this?
It
Roughly?
just had Depot. I'm trying to think of where that was.
Just, you know,
I don't know. I can find out.
I
for you.
walk,
Oh, you're on Depot.
you
Yeah.
know.
I'm pretty sure these guys were familiar with this individual. You know, they're very familiar with all these people that are hanging around, and you know, when they particularly see him and they go, "We know this guy," and then when they saw what they saw, they were able to do a stop on him. So that was the gun. I guess it had. Looks like it carries, I don't know, maybe 12 rounds. I think that's a 9mm. The site team, I talk about it every month. These are the highway patrol officers. They come in to our precinct on a monthly basis, and we kind of direct them to all the problem streets. We're having issues with traffic, speeding. They mostly do moving violations. So I know a lot of times, is it Round Swamp? Yeah, Round Swamp's one, right? So they hit that again. I give them these locations. I get a lot of them from the community meetings. People like, can they go down to my street, so whatever. And I'll talk to the sergeant and say, hey, can you go over here? So here's some of the places they hit. They were here on March 11th, the 20th, and the 27th.
Wow.
They wrote 124 summonses. 111 of those were moving violations, which is good, and 13 non-moving violations. So they do a terrific job trying to help us reduce traffic accidents, you know, especially the serious ones. So we appreciate it. And I just mention this because Sergeant Casey's here. Our own enforcement people, I was looking at some of our summons numbers, and we happen to be up a nice percentage from last year at this time. So his guys are doing a really terrific job, so thank you.
Inspector.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's not, we've been to your place, just so you know.
Yeah, but they came when school was closed. We
Okay.
went to the student. I have a video of the same woman as last year, driving a different bus,
Okay.
drove, probably doing 30 miles an hour through that stop sign. Besides the two kids, right, that went through Earl Road, at probably 60. Unbelievable.
60? Yeah. Okay.
And you've probably been there, you know what it is. They're there, something has to be done. They repeat Jericho, Spring Roads, and every one of those roads they've been to.
Yeah, no, I put you on a list. He went there. I know maybe the time was off, but
Well, they went
but
when
our
school was
guys-
closed.
I know our guys were there. Was it yesterday or today? At a good time, at a decent time. I tried to tell them, you gotta go between like 2 and 3. That's the time, right?
They were there today, the one there, the doctor's office.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. I think one of
They
your
were
officers was there
they
today,
saw-
right?
They saw the disaster. And,
Okay,
you know, it's been brought up. I was talking to, one of the superintendents of,
St. Anthony?
no,
Oh.
School District 13, happened to bring it up about the buses.
Yeah, what'd they say?
Apparently, District 13 gets complaints constantly from the buses at St. Anthony's,
Okay.
going through not only Earl, but
Residential
Clapton
areas,
and
yeah.
all the streets. I came back yesterday from out east and come down, and the cars were literally parked on Wolf Hill Road from the exit to St. Anthony's, probably within 50 feet of the intersection.
Intersection, yeah,
They were out in the roadway.
yeah.
You know, I've spoken to the town, okay, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time that something bad is gonna happen. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And, you know, like I say, it really got to me the other day when I saw the bus, and I looked, right? You can't miss this woman. right?
Okay.
Last year was 1407, this one's 1009.
Okay, that's the number. Let's see if we can find that bus. All right,
It's educational bus.
all right, thank you.
But if you were there the other day, you saw what the problem is, and you saw how many, between 2 and 3. Unless you sit with it, we'll see.
We'll hit it again between those hours. Let's work on it, all right?
That's the worst time, between 2 and 3.
All right, we got that. We did have a fatal accident in March. This was on Greenlawn Road. A male driver, a young kid, unfortunately 32, he was operating his Chevy Silverado pickup. He was going northbound. For unknown reason, he left the roadway. He struck a tree, and unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries. He was transported to Stony Brook Hospital, so could be speed, who knows? When you leave the road and you hit a tree, I'm assuming he was probably going a little too fast, but it's sad, young kid, but, when you're driving, you just obey the speed. That's a windy road too. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's not a great road for going too fast on. This is the arrests that we had for March. So we had 33 felony arrests, 83 misdemeanor arrests, 7 assault-related arrests, gang-related arrests. We arrested 5 gang members. 3 of them with the MS-13 gang for DUI drugs, DUI, and a warrant. And then 1 Blood 9 tray, whatever that is, for grand larceny. They have a lot of little sects of the Bloods. And then 1 Los Kids for DUI. So some gang members we got. And then we had 13 drug-related arrests and 14 DWI, and down the bottom you can see around 139 total. This is the domestic incidents and overdose report. So domestic incidents in March, we responded to 193 calls of, it's a lot, I know, domestic incidents. And out of those 193, 65 were reported as criminal, and then 28 resulted in arrests. That doesn't mean that the other, whatever the number is, between the 28 and 65, they could still be being investigated and result in an arrest. So, but that's just the ones that I was able to find that resulted in arrests so far. Sometimes the investigation takes time, so that number could go up. Overdoses, we had 3 in the precinct, non-fatal. That's good. 1 in East Northport, 1 in Comac, and 1 in Melville. So, our numbers are down, which are pretty good, right? Yep. Yeah, okay, good. Shot spotter, which I think I explained to everybody, it's like an acoustical receiver that we have around Huntington Station. If gunshots go off, we receive through those receivers a notification on our computers, and we can respond within like 10 feet. It's a really, there's some good technology behind that. And we respond and we look for, shell casings and/or victims. But we didn't have any activations in March, which is good. We get a lot of false ones, but we didn't even have any of those this month, so that's good. And then we just got a couple of things coming up. This Project Prom, Ed Smith and Teresa Maria running this with in partnership with the precinct. So we're collecting old prom dresses and suits.
Not
So
old.
well, previously used.
Yes.
What do you want to say? All right. So yeah. So if you have something recently that you use for a wedding or something, you like to donate, if it's not raggedy or whatever, I guess if that's how you want to say it. We'd like to get it, and because a lot of these. Times are tough, and some of these kids can't really afford to buy. These dresses are expensive. So if you have a decent one that you like to donate, or an old suit that you like to, a recently used suit that you'd like to use. Oh God, you put me on the spot here. Bring it to the Flanagan Center, okay, and use the Youth Bureau entrance. And you have until the 16th for the donations, and then they will have the giveaway on the 30th. They have like everything displayed, and kids can go and pick prom dresses. I know I think one of our units in headquarters did this. You saw the commissioner walking people down in their gowns and stuff.
It's very
So,
fun.
Yeah, so it's a
volunteer.
nice
It's very
thing to
fun.
do, and if you have something that you like to donate, we'd love to get it.
And they need shoes also,
Oh,
and men's
okay.
shoes.
All right.
You know,
All
and
right.
accessories, purses,
Okay.
jewelry, costume jewelry, things like that.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great. If you have any other stuff that you think might be good to donate, we'd love to have it. And then I got this one
Oh,
today.
hey.
I got this one today from Huntington Matters.
That's right.
So,
Come on down.
so June and Diane, thank you. What do we got? Sunday, April 27th,
Right.
all right, 1 p.m.
It's 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
We meet at 1, we do the registration,
Okay.
and then we start like cleaning up around 1:15, 1:20, and we clean up until about 3. And then
Okay.
we go down to the new New York Avenue Pizza.
New one, nice.
And we're supporting local.
Okay.
And they're gonna, Palacios Law Group is buying pizza and beverage for
I
everybody.
must say that's
that
very generous of
Participated,
Palacios
yes.
Law Group. Thank you.
Very much so. And the Huntington Station bids gives us $500 grant towards supplies.
Oh, nice.
So we need trash bags and we need new brooms and litter pickers and all that stuff every year.
Okay.
And Quality Island Landscaping, he does all the mulching in the commuter parking lot
Oh, wow, nice.
where all
Okay.
those trees are. Well, some of them have nothing, but
Okay.
the trees died. But
right.
he makes it look really nice, and he donates his whole staff for the whole day. So we
All
have a
right.
team usually. If you like to play with wheelbarrows, he's your guy.
All right, so if you want to come and beautify
Yeah, very
Huntington Station,
fun.
come on down on this date, and June will be there, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and
And we're giving away community service hours, 4 full hours. They even get
Oh.
community service hour to eat pizza.
okay, if anyone needs community service hours.
Bring your forms, yeah.
Sometimes the Eagle Scouts and
Yeah.
other people need that stuff, so
Mhm.
bring them on down. All right, everybody I see here has pretty much been here, so I don't know if I'm gonna just beat this up again. So please lock everything, just lock everything, all right? And then the scams, please, the scams never end. I read about scams every day. I get a new report of a poor person who lost thousands of dollars. I'm seeing these things. These people are losing like $50,000 in these scams, and I can't even believe it, you know, but they start in with like Apple, from Apple service or whatever, you had a problem. We need to, if you want me to fix it, give me your code to get into the computer. Next thing you know, they're in your bank account. It's horrible. Just, you know, be aware. This one, recently, I saw one in the precinct where the guy claimed to be a Suffolk County police officer and said, you gotta give us bail money or we're gonna come and get you or whatever, or you had a warrant and we're gonna come. So they can spoof the numbers, just so you know, so you'll say, oh boy, this is the police department. But we don't do that, just so you know. So be very careful about who you talk to on the phone. I actually heard a call today. You know, the banks are starting to get on board with this. When people come in and they want to withdraw like 20,000, the banks are starting to call us and go, this could be something where there's a scam, which is nice because a lot of times it's too late by the time we get it. You know, we got to try and find these people. Who knows? So if the banks give us a heads up and we can maybe talk to the person and say, what are you doing? You know, is there a reason for taking a big sum? Oh yeah, my computer, and then that'll be good because sometimes we'll, you know, be able to set up a sting. So I'm happy that the banks are starting to do something because people are just getting killed out there, and it breaks my heart. So, yeah.
My friend in Jersey called the other night. They got a letter. Her parents got a letter from, who was it? A lawyer who said that there was some family member,
Okay.
they found a family member that had passed away and was leaving his money to a relative, and this was the address that they gave.
Okay.
And if they sent a $50 thing on their credit card, he would send them more information on
Sure.
how to get the money, and they were this close.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were this close.
It
And they
usually
turned it
starts with
over.
them asking for money,
Mm-hmm.
and if someone's asking for money, it's not gonna turn out well. You know, like
But it
nothing's
sounded really
free.
good.
So, you know, if they say, oh, send us $200, there's a big scam when they say they put too much money in your account.
Right.
We made a mistake. We need you to send us a part of that cash back, or we're gonna lose our job. It's all, just be real aware. And, you know, I know I spoke about checking accounts and and the wash checks thing where they change the checks. Check your accounts on a regular basis if you can when you write a check. You know, don't wait like 3 months down the road and then you look and say, oh my, I didn't write a check for $5,000. You know, so that can happen, and I see it all the time. So if you write a check after you think it would, you know, was time where it had been cashed or it passed through the bank, just double check to make sure it was the same amount that you wrote it for.
Can I ask you a question on that?
1 second, let me get to this.
Oh, okay.
Next meeting,
Yes.
May 13th. We pushed it back. I don't think they were available the week prior or something, so that's why it's the second Tuesday or
Or
third
you
Tuesday.
have a conflict.
I had
No,
a
that was
conflict?
this week.
I had a conflict this week.
Oh, you had a conflict this week?
Yeah, this one I
Okay,
think
so
was,
that's a
the
library issue,
library
okay.
couldn't accommodate us that day, so we had to push it back a week. So just
Yeah,
make
you
note
had
of the
to call
date.
them early.
It is actually right on the website and where we posted all the meetings. We actually started the year with that date. That's why I think it was them. Don't blame me, June.
No, I'm
Uh,
not. Yeah, good.
And then some numbers. Anyway, I know there's questions, so I'll take questions. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback on the scams, I just got a call this morning, and what's interesting is, I usually ignore them, and I don't order from Amazon anyway, the wife does, so they don't have my phone number.
Okay.
So anyway, I said, well, let me call them back. And I did, and they wanted to ask, like, there was an issue with your order, and they're like, can you give us your number? And I was like,
Oh, with your order, yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
so, which was interesting. It's like, what's the name on the order? And they wouldn't
Okay.
give it. But I have their phone number. Is that something I should report, or is it just bogus? They're probably using computer numbers.
A lot of, yeah, they spoof the numbers a lot of times. Sometimes they're out of the country,
So
you
it's
don't
not
even
worth
know.
my
I
business.
actually got the same call yesterday,
Huh?
and I knew it wasn't real to me because it was my work number. And I was like, and they said, Amazon, you ordered $600 worth of merchandise, and I'm like, nobody has this number.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, but that's how I knew. My work phone's not, really, that number's not connected to anything. Although, you know, I'm not gonna say it,
Now
but
it is.
Amazon comes to my house a lot, and it's not me. So, anyway, yes.
They're trying to push through legislation regarding people going up to a bank and trying to withdraw 10 grand.
Large
say,
sums of money.
right now, it's 10 grand and reported.
Yeah.
Before it's been given out, they want a second opinion. They want the manager to come over.
Oh,
and
wow,
review it.
okay.
That'd be good.
Stop
It's
all
good
the-
because these scams are so prevalent now, you know, but sometimes if you really need that much cash, I don't know, sometimes you need that. It's annoying because they're like, wait, you know, but in this day and age, I'm okay with it, you know?
I totally agree.
Yeah, people are just getting killed, so.
Is they're going to Target and other stores and buying gift cards. So that's the other problem.
They ask you to buy gift cards is what they want you to do. They say just buy and give them the numbers, so. I mean, I have
Yeah,
that up
at the
there every month. Gift
supermarkets,
cards is a
Target,
scam.
Everybody on the same page.
Yes, correct.
Well, there's a lot of text now from the toll booth.
Oh, yes,
And they come in from like
Yeah.
Singapore, because it's like a.
Yep.
an
Easy
out-of-country
Pass,
area
right?
code.
Easy Pass, yo
I
money.
get them like every couple of days.
Yeah,
I get like
yeah.
2 or 3 of
I
them.
think the governor actually put something out on that because that was really a bad one.
If you call the number, because I called, I said, let me just call and see, because it says my money comes out of a credit card, so. you
Sure,
punch.
sure.
And that was one of the things on the recording, it says, we will not call you, blah, blah, you know, so.
That is correct, yeah. They just usually send you a statement and they say that they replenished it on their own. They normally never send you
Right,
that kind of thing where you gotta pay us right now. So, yeah,
Calling their number back is not a good thing either.
No, I called.
No, she
I
called
called the
Easy
New York-
Pass,
I
yeah.
called
The
called
real
the
number.
Easy-
well, thank you everybody for coming and I won't say anything about
All right,
spring.
hold on. Shush.
We'll see you at the next meeting.